In this installment, we have the NBA bet slate for Wednesday, March 13th. Let's get into it. Hey, yo! Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our Wednesday slate, March 13th NBA bets. That's what we got going on. Guys, before we deep dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsNetShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. Right now, we're at the home of the YouTube page. We are at currently 1.81 thousand subscribers. Very, very close to our goal of 2K. Let's continue to push this content forward. Continue to like, continue to comment, and continue to subscribe. We're building a community here, bouncing off ideas. And if you sign up for that Patreon, we have a chat in there as well. We're posting winning parlays. That's in there as well. It's highly encouraged. Get connected, okay? Now, going over to this Patreon right now, the first couple games is rough. I'm just being 100% honest. 76ers, no. Wizards, no. Thunder, no. We're waiting on the back end to come through for us right now, all right? Right now, being 100% honest, Kings are up right now. We're waiting on Kings, Jazz, Clippers, and Spurs. And we're waiting on Gonzaga. Okay, so just looking at some of those scores right now at the top, the Spurs are down by 6. We need 3.5. The Utah Jazz are down by 7. We need that 6.5. But that's a close game right now. Now it's 4. The Clippers are up by double-digit points, and the Kings are up by 8 currently. So far, we should be finishing strong after a bad first 3 games. We look like we should be finishing strong with the Kings, Jazz, Clippers, and Spurs, and Gonzaga. Gonzaga currently right now is down 3 points? Down 5 points. All right, so let's get into the slate. First game of the slate we got going on for Wednesday will be the Toronto Raptors, 23-42, going against the Detroit Pistons, who are 11-53. Looking at the odds right now, you get the Toronto Raptors plus 110 on the money line. If you want the Pistons at home, you can get them at a minus 135 with the point spread going both ways at a 1.5. This is pretty much a pick 'em here. Who you think is the better team? Looking at the total, 232.5. Very high total here between the Raptors and the Pistons. And public bet percentage. Right now we have, this is crazy, 74% of the bets, 85% of the money on Detroit. Okay. For point spread, 60% of the bets, 53% of the money going towards Toronto to cover that 1.5. And then we have a heavy under on the total. 93% of the bets, 87% of the money on the under 232.5. Wow. That's crazy. I'm thinking totally opposite here right now. For the injuries, RJ Barrett, he is going to be out of this game with personal reasons. So he's going to be missing this game. Emmanuel Quickley and Gary Trent Jr. are going to be questionable in this game, all right? They did not play in that game against the Denver Nuggets where they led the whole entire game. But in that fourth quarter, the Denver Nuggets came back and won, all right? But this team right here in the Raptors are showing some fight. For the Pistons side, Oscar Thompson, he's going to be out of this game. Matter of fact, hold on, let me double check with that. Oscar Thompson, he's questionable. All right. Oscar Thompson is questionable for this game. Not much of a factor. He comes off the bench, but just letting you guys know. Now, the previous matchups between these two teams here, we had a blowout win by Toronto, 142-113. That was a total of 255 points. The second game was a close win by the Pistons. That total was 256 points. So this total is telling me something here. I'm going to be leaning towards the over off the bat, all right? Give me the over, 232.5. I'm fading all this public money right now that's heavily on under. I guess they haven't noticed what these two teams have been doing against each other because they don't play any defense and they're just running up the score. Give me the over 232.5. And who I'm going to choose in this game, because it's pretty much a pick 'em, give me the Raptors on the money line here to beat the Pistons. I'm talking about a Pistons team that is 6-26 at home. Okay, I'm not going to be relying on the Pistons. Give me the better, more talented team here. I like what I saw out of the Toronto Raptors in Denver, showing fight, and they really were scrappy in that game. And this is a team in the Raptors, if you look at it, 4-game losing streak. They want to win this game here. They're hungry, and give me them to take that win from the Detroit Pistons. Next game up, we have the Atlantic Division going against the Southeast Division here. Brooklyn Nets, 26-39, going against the Orlando Magic, 37-28 here. Looking at the odds currently, you can get the Magic at a -250. If you want the Nets, you can get them on the money line at +200. Point spread is currently at a 6.5 on both sides, with the total being at a 205.5. All right. Full game public bet percentage right now, 91% of the bets on Orlando, 97% of the money on Orlando to win. Okay. For the point spread, 60% of the bets on Orlando to cover, 64% of the money on Orlando to cover, with the total 82% towards the under 205.5 with the bets, and 62% of the money towards the under of the 205.5 in this game. All right, for the injury report here, we already know about Ben Simmons. He's out for the rest of the year. Cameron Johnson is probable. That's what they're saying. So Cameron Johnson will travel with the team, which begins in Orlando on Wednesday. They had a little they miswrote here, but they said he's traveling with the team to Orlando is a positive development, and Johnson is officially considered probable to play on Thursday. But they don't play on Thursday. They play on Wednesday. So that was the error there. So Cam Johnson is going to be probable for this game. That's what we got so far. All right. Now, looking for the previous matchups between the Magic and the Brooklyn Nets. The first two meetings went towards the Brooklyn Nets with the total of 228 points in that first game, 230 points in the second game, and then in the third game, Orlando got some revenge, and that total was 189 points. And this game is yet again in Orlando. This is the fourth and final matchup here between these two teams. All right. So looking at the current line that we got going on right now, I like the money line of the Orlando Magic in this game. I cannot trust the Nets. And we're talking about a team against the spread that is so strong at home. All right. Looking at the Orlando Magic numbers against the spread, 21-9. All right. And 20-5 as favorites. So at home, 21-9, as favorites, 20-5. Very, very strong numbers there. On the other side, the Nets as underdogs as away are 11-20 against the spread, and as underdogs 16-23. So that's a big issue there. I like the money line of Orlando Magic. Give me Magic to cover that spread of 6.5 if you want to take more value there. And if we're going with the over and under, I'm going towards the under 205.5. All right. The other game in Orlando went well under that number. We're back in Orlando here. I think that defense is going to step up. They're going to play great defense, score the basketball, and limit the Brooklyn Nets. I like Orlando sweep here. We have an in-division battle here next, Central Division, between the Chicago Bulls, 31-34, going against the Indianapolis Pacers here, 37-29. This is the second game of a back-to-back for the Indianapolis Pacers here, who just had a big win over the OKC Thunder in OKC. Now they're traveling back home to face the Bulls. Looking at the odds, -175 on the money line for the Pacers. With the Bulls, you can get them on a +145 on the money line there. Point spread is at a pretty tight 4.5 there on the point spread, with the total at 232.5. Okay, on the over under. Public bet percentage, 86% of the bets, 96% of the money on the Pacers to win. For the point spread, 56% of the bets, 61% of the money on Pacers to cover, and the total 63% and 63% of bets and money towards the over 232.5. Now, for the injury report here for the Chicago Bulls, Torrey Craig is probable for this game. Patrick Williams is going to be out for the season. He's getting surgery done. All right. For the Pacers, James Johnson is a non-factor. Benedict Mathurin is out for the year, and Doug McDermott is questionable in this game. All right. So with the further information here on the previous two matchups between these two rivals here, one game with Chicago winning in Indiana by 112 to 105. That's a total of 217. And in the second game, Pacers came back, got revenge, won in Chicago, and that total was a 224. Now this game is back in Indiana where that under hit, and that's where I'm going to be going towards. I'm going to go towards the under here in this game. Pacers are in the second game of a back-to-back. I understand they do not play any defense here, but I think this is going to be, when you talk about in-division matchups, these are closely contested games, okay? They know each other very well. They played each other. It's going to be the third time they're going up against each other. And I think it's going to be a little more low-scoring than a very high total of 232, all right? So give me the under there. If we're choosing an option here, give me the point spread of the Chicago Bulls. I'm going to be taking the plus 4.5. Bulls as an away team against the spread are 18 and 15 against the spread, and as dogs they're 19 and 18 as underdogs. So they're 500 on the road. They play a little bit better on the road here. Give me the Bulls in the 4.5. Next up, we have the rematch of the NBA Finals. Denver Nuggets, who are 45 and 20, going against the Miami Heat, who are 35 and 29. Looking at the current odds right now, you can get the Denver Nuggets on the money line at a minus 165. Miami Heat are returning at a plus 135 on the money line. The point spread is at a 3.5 on both sides. For the total is at 214.5. Public bet percentage here, 76% of the bets, 88% of the money on Denver to win, 72% of the bets, 75% of the money all over Denver to cover. And on the under, it's very heavy on the bet percentage, 83% of the bets towards the under, but 81% of the money towards the money is towards the over. All right, so split right down there between bet and the money. For the Denver Nuggets, they're completely healthy. For the Miami Heat, Jimmy Butler is going to play. But Tyler Hero and Kevin Love are going to be out for this game. All right. So they've been out for a while now, Tyler Hero and Kevin Love. So that's no change there. But it's good news that Jimmy Butler will play in this game. This is their second matchup here. They already played February 29th. That was a tightly contested game in Denver. Denver only won by 6 points, and that total was 200 points in that game. All right. Right now, we have the Nuggets red hot 3-game winning streak. On the other side, Miami Heat 3-game losing streak. Something has to give here. And when we're looking back at this, at the line here, what are we going to choose? I'm going to go with the Miami Heat to play it tough. Give me the points, plus 3.5. They're at home. Jimmy Butler is going to be very motivated for this game. They lost that first game in February. I think they're going to come back, play tough, at least keep this game close and have an opportunity to win. So I like the point spread at plus 3.5. And if we're going with the over and under, I like the over 214.5. I think that's way too low for these two type of teams. I understand they do play defense, but they also can put up points in bunches. If this is a game that decides to go a little bit over, then I want that side. I'd rather choose the over between these two teams that can definitely knock down the 3 than the under, all right? So the main play here, plus 3.5, Miami Heat. Next up, we have an East versus West matchup here. Cleveland Cavaliers, 41 and 24. Going up against the New Orleans Pelicans, 39 and 25. Looking at the odds right now, you can get the Pelicans at a minus 250, with the Cleveland Cavaliers coming back at a plus 200 on the money line. Current point spread right now is at a 6.5. And the total points right now are at 217.5. Public bet percentage right now for the money line, 91% of the bets, 94% of the money on New Orleans Pelicans. Point spread is kind of split down the middle on both sides for the Pelicans to cover that 6.5. And the total points, 88% of the bets, 81% of the money towards the under 217.5. All right. Right now for the injury report is mainly the Cleveland Cavaliers. Obviously, Donovan Mitchell is going to be out yet again, but he is being reevaluated. All right. So there you go. He's questionable for Wednesday. Donovan Mitchell is questionable. So wait on to news. during practice. We're probably going to get an update if he's going to play in this game. So hold off on any suggestion in this game. If they get Donovan Mitchell back, then I would probably hop on the Cleveland Cavaliers on that point line at 6.5. All right. Dean Wade right now has a personal issue. He's most likely going to miss this game. Evan Mobley is being reevaluated with his ankle. He took the boot off, and he's going to be reevaluated on Wednesday. So two big decisions are with Evan Mobley taking his boot off. Obviously, he's probably going to have to work back up to game speed, but it's going to be Donovan Mitchell's going to be key, his injury for this game. All right. Pelicans, Cleveland already played each other in December. That was a total of 227 points there. And that was a blowout performance by the Pelicans, okay? So as of right now, what I'm going to go with, I'm going to be leaning towards the over. So far right now, my play is the over, 217.5. I cannot make a decision yet on point spread or money line unless I get some information about Donovan Mitchell. That would be a huge boost to this team for the Cleveland Cavaliers if they can get Donovan Mitchell back. Cleveland Cavaliers are on a 2-game losing streak, and you got the Pelicans are red hot right now, but they just had a road trip, a 3-game road trip coming back home. That could be a little bit of an issue there, obviously, since they had all those games on the road coming back home. This could be a situation where if Cleveland Cavaliers are healthy, they can come at them and at least cover the spread at 6.5. But wait on news. Right now, my play is the over 217.5. Next game up, we have the Charlotte Hornets, who are 16-49, going against the Memphis Grizzlies, who are 23-43. These are two pitiful teams, the bottom feeders here, going up against each other. So we got another ugly matchup. We've been getting that lately with the Pistons and the Hornets and the Grizzlies all facing each other over and over. But looking at this line right now, they're giving us Hornets on the money line -135. Grizzlies, if you want them, +110. Point spread on both sides is a 2.5, with the total being at 205.5. Okay. Public bet percentage, 42% of the bets. 58% of the bets on Charlotte, 80% of the money on Memphis. All right. Point spread, 66% of the bets on Memphis to cover, and 79% of the money on Memphis to cover. For the total, 85 and 82% of the bets and the money towards the over 205.5. All right. Now, with the injury report for the Charlotte Hornets, Seth Curry is going to be out for 2 weeks. Trey Mann, he is questionable on Wednesday. You have to wait on news for him. For the Grizzlies, we have to wait on news for all these guys, all right? We have to wait on news for Jaren Jackson, for Vince Williams, Gonchar, everyone. This team was on a back-to-back. So they sat some of their guys in this game that happened on Tuesday. We're not sure what they're going to do on Wednesday, all right? This team is playing G League guys right now for the Memphis Grizzlies. In the previous matchup, Memphis lost to Charlotte in Charlotte, 115-106. That total is 221 in that game. And you have the Charlotte Hornets are, in the last 5 games, they are 1-4. All right, Grizzlies are on a little bit of a hot streak here. They've won 3 out of the last 5 games. This is the second game of a back-to-back. They just they just beat Washington. And I'm going to be opposite on here. I'm going to lean towards the money line of the Hornets, but I do not encourage playing this game. I'm done. I'm sick of playing these bad teams versus bad teams. It keeps going opposite. But if you want to be a DJ, you want to choose, all right? You want to choose. I'm taking the Charlotte Hornets. I got Miles Bridges as my freaking thumbnail. He should be able to ball in this game, all right? Give me the Charlotte Hornets. I'll take them at the money line. If I'm choosing the over and under, give me the over in points of 205.5 in this particular matchup. Let's move on to this horrible game. Next game, we have the Golden State Warriors here, who are 34-30, going against the Dallas Mavericks, 37-28 here. For the odds, we have the Golden State Warriors, if you want them on the money line, +240, coming back with the Mavericks at a -300 on the money line. For the point spread, it goes 7.5 for both sides, and the total is set at 236.5. So very high total here between these two teams. Public bet percentage, 86% of the bets on Dallas, 62% of the money on Golden State to win. For the point spread, 62% of the bets, 70% of the money on Golden State to cover the 7.5. For the total, 66% of the bets, 69% of the money on the over 236.5. All right. For the injury report, Stephen Curry, he shed, he's unlikely to play. All right. He was cleared for on-court work, but he's not going to play in this game for Golden State Warriors against Dallas. All right. Now, looking at the previous matchups, a lot of these games were postponed, but the one matchup they did play was December 30th, and that was a 10-point win by Dallas, and that total was 254 points in that particular game here. Obviously, there's no Steph Curry, but this team in Golden State can still put up numbers, all right, and knock down threes, okay? So what we're going to be going with here, I get it. Dallas Mavericks are red hot right now. They are on a, 3-game winning streak, but I do not want to forget about the poor play they had earlier in March. Losing to Philly, losing to Indianapolis by double-digit points there. I don't feel comfortable with the Dallas Mavericks covering this spread, all right? If we're looking at the Golden State Warriors, I get it, there's no Stephen Curry, but this team plays well away, and they play even better as underdogs. 21-9 against the spread away, 15-7 as underdogs. So we saw Golden State Warriors play pretty tough. They responded back in that game against San Antonio. I think they're going to play tough in this game, and the Dallas Mavericks are a very untrustworthy team. They're very, very Jekyll and Hyde. So I feel more comfortable here taking that plus 7.5 for the Golden State Warriors. If we're choosing an over and under, give me the over 236.5 with the Olay defense from the Dallas Mavericks. Next matchup, we have the Atlanta Hawks, 29-35, going against the Portland Trailblazers, 18-46. Looking at the odds currently right now, you can get the Atlanta Hawks at a -145 on the money line, with the Portland Trailblazers at a +120. Point spread is at a 2.5. All right. Total points right now is at a 219.5 as well. Public bet percentage, 92% of the money. Well, 92% of the bets on Atlanta, 100% of the money on Atlanta. For the point spread, 84% of the bets and 83% of the money on Atlanta to cover. It's all Atlanta here. For the total, 73% of the bets, 74% of the money on the over of 219.5. That might be the only one I agree with. Now, for the injuries, Atlanta Hawks, Saddiq Bey tore his ACL. He's out for the year. Jalen Johnson is going to be out as well. He's with an ankle issue. He's doubtful. For the Portland Trailblazers, you're just waiting on news about Malcolm Brogdon. He's going to be out for at least 2 weeks. All right. So for the most part, the Portland Trailblazers are by far the more healthier team. No Saddiq Bey, no Jalen Johnson, no Trae Young. Atlanta Hawks are decimated right now, and it's very heavily on the public bet with Atlanta. So that scares me a lot. All right. Atlanta, in the last 5 games, 3 out of their last 5 have been wins. Portland has been struggling on this home trip, all right? So let's see if they can get a win here, all right? So going back to the odds here, I'm going to fade the public money. I'm fading the public bets. I'm fading the public money. Give me the Portland Trailblazers at +120 here to beat the Atlanta Hawks, a decimated team here. Anthony Simon's going to step up. DeAndre Ayton's going to step up. Jeremy Grant. That casting character, to me, is better right now, currently orchestrated than the Atlanta Hawks. I like the Portland Trailblazers on the money line, and I'm going to go towards the over 219.5. Last but not least, we have the Los Angeles Lakers, 36-30, going up against the Sacramento Kings, 36-27. These guys are fighting for playoff position, and we got a pick'em game here between the Lakers and the Kings, the Pacific Division rivals here. Now, looking at the line, -115 for the Lakers, -105 for the Kings. Point spread is at a 1.5. Like I said, this is a pick'em game with the total at a 238.5. Super high total between these two teams here. Money line, public bet percentage, 67% of the bets on the Lakers, 85% of the money on the Lakers. Point spread is at a 1.5. Well, is at 64% bets and 70% of the money on the Lakers to cover. For the total, 62% of the bet, 65% of the money on the over 238.5. Injury report, it's the same old with the Los Angeles Lakers. It's a Q tag for AD and LeBron James. But as you know, they always have that every single game, and they're most likely going to play. Especially, they're trying to find the right positioning here for this playoff push, all right? For the Sacramento Kings, Keegan Murray, he played in the game on Tuesday. We'll see if he's going to play yet again in the game on Wednesday. The Kings are on, this will be the second game of a back-to-back, all right? Right now, they are blowing out the Milwaukee Bucks. If you're looking at the score, it is 69-88, all right? So they're blowing out the Milwaukee Bucks right now, and now they have to face the Lakers next. Now, these two teams have been going at it, but it's been a domination from the Sacramento Kings. 3 games in a row, the Kings have beaten the Lakers. I'm going to stop the trend, all right? Give me the Los Angeles Lakers to win this game, okay? They're not getting swept, all right? No 4-game swept. LeBron James is going to come through and win 1 game against this team in the Sacramento Kings here. With the totals, all right, the first game was 259. That went into overtime. The second game was 235. And the third game was 250. So really high numbers here. And you got this over-under at 238.5. It's kind of like really perfectly priced. I'm going to lean towards the under. I'm going to lean towards the under in this spot here for the Lakers going up against the Kings. I think that defense steps up, and that's how the Lakers get this win, all right? So if we're taking a play, give me money line Los Angeles Lakers. If we're choosing the total, under 238.5. And that will be our breakdown of the Wednesday, March 13th NBA bet slate. Thank you guys for tuning in. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you're letting me know what you think in the comment section down below. I appreciate all you guys commenting, giving love and praise. That's what we do. We stay positive, and I'm going to keep bringing you this content. We might have some days that are down, but we're always going to bounce back, all right? Thank you guys. Peace out.